You are now about to witness the awesome, crushing might of KNUCKLE! Woo! Oh, I'm dizzy, boy. I'm dizzy. My head is spinning like a whirlpool. Thank you, my friends, for a show that never, practically, almost kind of ends. Lack of oxygen to the brain. It's Knuckle Up number 278. I am your host, Eugene S. Robinson. I was on another radio show. I gave a quiz to win tickets. Tell me what the S is for. They couldn't figure it out. But before we get into the grist, the meat, before we get into the soft underbelly, the fascia, the fascism of MMA, UFC Houston. Why am I shouting? Loud noises, I don't know. The words that say it all. Bob Riley, singer for Stigmata. Song is Intro, All of Nothing, off of the record, Calling of the Just, still available from Revelation Records in Huntington Beach, baby. And I gotta tell you, these words have been ringing through my head all fucking weekend. Those of you who are fans of the show, you know what I'm about to sing. Sing along with me. I'm on my way back to nowhere. Well, I could not see so clear, but I'm taking a real good look at you. I'm taking a real good look at your face. Payback in full. Nothing. Welcome, my friends. Enough of that. That Stigmata intro, Calling it Just. Anyway, here we are. I'm supposing if you are fans of American football, that you have just now concluded your viewing of the Super Bowl 40. Well, I don't remember what number it is. And there's a chitter and a chatter about the halftime show. And there's the amazing come behind victory for the multiple world champs, because even though they don't play this game in Sri Lanka, world champs, New England Patriots, everybody who's Boston strong, they can feel pretty happy about themselves doing the fake Boston accents and yanking out their Celtics jerseys or whatever the fuck you do. Listen, the only people I feel sorry for today are degenerate gamblers who have been juked once again. Oh, man. Third quarter, it was like 3-28. I went up and did illogical contraption. Don't know what it is? Go look it up. Type it into Google. It's a radio show on RadioValencia.fm. RadioValencia.fm. Corey Sklar, Mean Dave. Maybe I blew his cover. Mean Dave and Shelby and the lovely Sarah interviewed 2 hours on the show talking about Friday, February 10th at the Chapel in San Francisco, which is at 777, 3 sevens. The downtown crosstown neighbor, QuickTime crosstown neighbor of the Beast. Place called the Chapel. It'll be a Sex with Eugene show live. We got guests. Got Andre Shakti. Don't let the name fool you. Andre Shakti, woman. Queer, porn star. You got it. She took issue with me calling her a lesbian. Don't know why, but I'll go by her designate. Queer, porn star, professional slut. She'll be there 7:30 to 8, free bar. If you have friends in San Francisco or you're in San Francisco, Northern California, you could get there, you should be there. Alan McDonald, former executive editor at Hustler, will be there. Jennifer Locke, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor, performance artist, and professional dominatrix. She will be there. Phonique, female impersonators. And we're going to be fielding real questions from the column and beyond. I got to pay money for that. But anyway, right now, I started them out with a quiz. I was going to give away 2 tickets. If you can guess what the S stands for real, Eugene S. Robinson, they were going to give you tickets. If you can find Corey online, they had 2 tickets to give away. You can still win those. We're not doing that quiz on this show. It's way too easy because you got dozens of things to choose from. Anyway, UFC Houston. Where's the tote card? This is the tote card. Oh, and look who's here. Literally, I'm not making this shit up. You saw me do the show. You didn't hear me call him. His ass is right there. Right there. He put it right there. Look at it. Can you see it? Oh, there's his face. And he's going to give the face for a little bit, and then he's going to turn around and put the ass right near me. Right there. And he's going to proceed to fart the entire show. I didn't ask for this. I did not ask for that. But from his point of view, you know, whatever, man. Whatever. Any port in the storm. I want to share the inside of my colon with you. You're here. At least the cat's not yowling. So anyway, from the Care Don't Care preview, which I don't know if you all pay attention to the Care Don't Care preview, but typically I'll get a scratch pad. I'll yank it off of Sorrell's desk because we do it on Wednesday. And I will note the fights I care about just so I have some sort of consistency. And it's going to blow it. But I see you guys on Twitter thinking, Eugene's days ruined, because he didn't pick. Well, whatever. I'm not going to belabor the point. Can you see it with the Can you see it with the? Nah, you can't see it with this damn reflection. There you go. So this is my side of the card over here. 3 fights I cared about, and I was merciless. I was merciless. But let's go through them, and I'll explain why I was merciless. I didn't do too badly, all in all considered. Outside of blowing it on the opener, I didn't do too badly. But let's look at it. So here we go. Man, I haven't eaten all day. Khalil Roundtree and Daniel Jolly. That was a don't care. That was a don't care. Khalil Roundtree, a Houston guy, had a slick 52-second knee. Is it enough to care? I don't know. Not really, and not necessarily. Sorry, brother, man. I mean, if they have another event in Houston, they're gonna call you out. But I didn't see enough to warrant seeing you anyplace else other than Houston. This is the reality. And I'm not gonna go through the show from top to bottom. I'm not going from bottom to top. I'm gonna go like I usually do from top to bottom. So let's just start at the end where I blew it the biggest. I just kind of threw that in there, the other Jolly thing, because there was a possibility that he moves from don't care to care. He was not one of the ones who moved from don't care to care. So let's go from the top of the hour, top of the show. Dennis Bermudez and Korean zombie Chang Sung-jung. Now, Kid Nate, who was probably celebrating, is probably still doing a victory dance. He picked the Korean zombie, and I picked Dennis Bermudez with a proviso that Dennis Bermudez was a gift. Don't know, so you don't have to ask in the comments. GICT is an acronym. Stands for Guy I Can't Trust. Or Guys I Can't Trust. Pick him to win, he loses. When you pick him to lose, he wins, and never in ways that you expect. Guys that you should be able to rely on and think about in another context, but you can't at all. They bear being watched. I'm sure we all have friends with that. When they say they're coming along, you go, God damn, you just don't know how it's going to go. I had a friend like that. And his initials were, well, you know, you could call him Mickey Mouse. His name was Mickey Mouser. Michael. He insisted people call him Mickey. You go to a party, you hear across the room, who's a faggot? God damn, can't take that guy anywhere. One of those guys. That's a gift. Now, a guy who's got you thrown in jail, that's a gifter. That's like, you know what? I gave you a chance. It's like my movie that I want to direct right after Where My Bitch Is At. It's called The Losers. They had one last chance and they blew it again and again. I'm sorry. Right now, in my mind, that's starring Dennis Bermudez. I picked him from a healthy place. I picked him from a respectful place. I picked it from a place with full acknowledgement of the kind of place it was that I was picking him from. And it was like, I always suspected he would fail, but never quite so spectacularly. And I was okay. Korean Zombie is a tough fucking guy. He laid him out with that uppercut, I can live with that. I can live with all of that. I can live with the win. I can live with Zombie. I can live with the people dressed up like the Korean Zombie. The guy's got a little juice. I don't feel bad. I actually feel all right. I'm glad to see dude, back in the saddle again, back. But of watching the post-fight press conference. Watching the post-fight press conference is like having a date and then going on the person's Facebook page after the date. Watching them say shit that they didn't say during dinner on their Facebook page that makes you think, I really misjudged this. And he sits down in front of that microphone and he goes through, well, it was a premature stoppage, but I guess Herb Dean had his reasons. Yeah, reasons. Dan Miragliotta territory, Steve Mazzagata territory, Kim Winslow territory. That put you down. You got the shot that whiffed you on the way down, and then you got 3 unanswered shots on the ground. How long were we going to let that go? Excuse me. Inside a Doggy Boy's colon. Hey, friend. Hey, how's that? How do you like that? Sit down. At least now he's facing me. He has no idea why I'm doing this. Doesn't smell bad to him. Bobby the BB. Can you hear him? Mm-hmm. Thank you for smelling my colon. You're wonderful. Now give me food. I'm creating on the fly. So he sits in front of the microphone and says it was a premature stoppage. And he's given, at that point, you look down and you open up your jacket and you see where your mom is sewed in the label and you read the name and the name says Dennis Bermudez. And you go, oh, yeah, that's me. Yeah, it's me. Now, okay, there's some things that you could say, some exculpatory. You could say, well, good dude's got a reach. But it wasn't like he got you with a jab or a right cross. He got you with an uppercut. Nullifying. He was in and dirty boxed your ass to the canvas. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. What do you say? What do you say that hasn't already been said by my tote sheet? Right there, Bermudez. Wanting to believe, failing to believe. I dismissed all the Kid Nate's chatter about Gicht, and I went for it anyway, thinking that he's a hopeless Asianophile and that he was just picking the Korean Zombie for nostalgic reasons or some such thing. I didn't feel strong about it, but it was an informed decision. I always knew he would fail, but never quite so surprisingly, spectacularly. He's done it. Will I ever? Now the thing is, he's in a strange place for me. He's not really doing crazy a Lost Battalion talk, but he is talking Gicht talk. A failure to understand his place in space and the systematic denial of the reality of experience. This guy is a fucking MMA nihilist, and I will not. I guarantee you, he will never make it. Well, it's not even fair to put him on the don't care list because I do care. It's like a spurned lover. I care. I care about the ways in which he will upend expectations. I will never pick one of his fights again because you understand that I pick these fights with the expectation that what? I pick these fights with the expectation that I'm actually betting on them. Though I have no money to bet, I'm making believe I'm betting on them. And so when the bet turns tits up, I feel angry. Like I lost something. Like the fictional millions I bet on him. So there you go. There's not what else can you say about 2 minutes and 49? It's everything's coming up roses for Korean Zombie. You know, Korean Zombie, when they're looking in it, when the guys at WME are looking into the audience, they're seeing people dressed like the Korean Zombie with their homemade scribbly crayon and Sharpie scribbled shirts say Korean Zombie, and they've got blood on their face like the zombie and they got something. Doesn't matter if the guy can't speak a word of English. How much English did Bruce Lee speak? Doesn't matter. Jackie Chan. Doesn't matter. It's all about the Q rating, baby. And Dennis Bermudez, for old time's sake, could you get me off? Sorry, sad. I can't do it. Godfather. It's a Godfather quote. So Herb Dean did a great job. Stopped it right. Felice Herrig. I called it for Felice for unhealthy reasons, but not enough to care, so it doesn't make a difference. It was a unanimous decision over Grasso, but I have to say, so what? People are learning the hard way. You know, some guy was telling me at one point, hey, I'm dating this woman. I go, oh, tell me about it. What's the story? Well, she's a model. Really? In New York? No, she lives out here. Oh, out here. What is she? Who reps her? Who is she modeling? Oh, well, you know, a lot of like calendars and you know, a fairground and like mostly like auto calendar stuff. You know, and then the car shows. Yes. She is modeling swimsuits and high heels at car shows, modeling Prada on catwalks, Alexander McQueen on catwalks. You have any idea what the average model makes for the abuse they have to put up with? Or maybe not the average, just slightly above average. Not the supermodel, just slightly above average. They make a lot of money. And I mean, what I'm saying is you could make 20 grand a day. Nobody's making 20 grand a day doing a calendar at the car show. Eugene, you're a fucking elitist. I am an elitist. The matter is, it's like being caught in a gay bar. Hey, bud, what are you doing here? I was looking for the bathroom. Oh, that sounds bad. No, you wouldn't be here if you weren't an elitist. And you know there's a qualitative difference between, we're not talking about sexy sex stuff. You know, if you're talking about get down time with the car show girl could be, I imagine, might be infinitely more fun than get down time with the 5th Avenue or 7th Avenue, you know, fashion horse who's eating 3 peanuts a day. No, it's a horrible, miserable existence. You know, I used to hang out up there. I was a model in high school, and when I wasn't modeling, I was delivering food up and down 7th Avenue to the shoots. Treat those girls worse than horses. Well, horses are treated better. Yanking the clothes on, yanking the clothes off, getting out there, it's a drag. It's a drag. And if you don't think they're aiding and enabling and abetting by flowing the coke, you'd be wrong. Some things my 15-year-old eyes have seen. Yeah, but, you know, it's all about the Q rating, baby. And Felice, you know, while able to maybe make, does she have what it takes? She's high up on the card. I don't know what they call this, a co-main event. I don't remember, but it takes. Let me means when they ask that question. When they ask that question, it means they already have their answer. Next, does Connor McGee have what it takes? What they're fundamentally asking is, can we work this monkey? His stomach. It's crazy. My only other choice is to take the earplugs out of my pocket and use them as nose filters. So I am tired. I was in the streets handing out flyers for this Sex with Eugene thing all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then did the radio show. So I'm beat. That's why the show was late. There were no sex and drugs for Ian. There was no Super Bowl party food for Eugene. We're not. It was me walking around the streets in a white suit. If you're a Facebook friend, if you're fortunate enough, you can go see the Facebook Live video. I think you can actually see it anyway because I have too many people on my page, but if you go to the Ozzy page, you can see it. Walking around the street, arguing with people. You know, I forgot I was being filmed, arguing with some guy about Tennessee Williams. I was like, hey, yo, fuck off. How about that? And I said, oh, no. I have to stay in character. I have to stay in character. So I'm not saying that Felice, look, yes, she won unanimous decision. It was a fairly uneventful fight. I didn't really see anything. It didn't make me feel like what? Thing is super important. It is super important. And if you don't see that playing through everything that's happening now, every match that's made, Eugene, my God, you were right. I saw so-and-so here. I saw so-and-so there. I told you. Rory McDonald had something. Rory McDonald pulled it's like, a parachute is good to have if the plane is going down. Not so good if you pull it while you're still in the plane that's going down. It becomes worthless and ill-advised. And there's just drag you around the inside of a plane before it crashes into a fiery wreck on the ground. It's all about timing. So going down the card a bit, another fight I didn't care about. Oh, let me see if Kid Not Take cared about it. Well, he did. He picked Grasso against Herrig, and she lost. And neither one of us had a James Vick against Abel Trujillo. Because Abel Trujillo had DV problems, domestic violence problems. Can't pick that dude. James Vick looked great. And what I said about the fight on the Care Don't Care preview is if Trujillo's not strong in the head, if he doesn't get immediate positive feedback that first round, he's dead in the water. And he's never shown me anything different. And that's what happened with the James Vick fight. I don't know what it was. Anaconda, Bravo. I should know this. Don't quite know what the difference is. I'm not one of those guys who's scouring YouTube and trying to. I know how to do it. I know the difference between an omoplata and a gogoplata. I got some of it, but Bravo, Anaconda, Dars, man, those are finer points. I know how to do them. I can't tell. It took me, finally my mnemonic devices. You know what Americana is? That. You know how fucking America, hail America. That's it. And then Kimura is down. That's, mnemonic devices. But so he got choked out round 3. He'd already given up way before they got to round 3. The domestic violence. I guess is that an alleged? Should I gloss it with an alleged? But we didn't care about the fight because fundamentally I enjoyed watching the fight, but didn't care, and I was merciless. And I didn't care about the Open State Brew fight. I didn't pick him to win it, but I didn't care enough to pick. Volkan Ozdemir beat him, split decision. Why? It's hard to believe that this was the same OSP that fought Johnny Boney Joni, but it was. I'm not saying he got any closer to Johnny Boney Joni than he did, but the guy is always underdelivered, and he underdelivered here, and I do not feel bad at all about him losing to what I feel is pretty wily underweight. Volkan from the planet Volkan. But did I care? Did not care. Didn't care. Merciless. The guys fought underwhelming fights. But there's a method to this madness. It's not like Joe Silva time, and I'm going to explain why. We're going to get to that in a second. So the next fight was Marcel Fortuna beating Anthony Hamilton. Marcel Fortuna, short notice fight. Baby, off that don't care list, onto the care list. I didn't care about this fight before, mostly because Anthony Hamilton has underdelivered. and I got a problem with guys named Anthony Hamilton. And Marcel Fortuna's got a great name, but I didn't hold the great hopes. I never would have picked him. Hamilton. How can I reward slackness? Oh, you guys just had a bad. Nah. KO. KTFO. Knocked the fuck out by a beautiful, what was it, like a walk, when people go walk off. It's like the guy steps and walks up. So now I could start my celebration 3 seconds early. It was nice. He was like, hey, nah, you know. Dude was like, it hit him like on the top of the head, and he lost his equilibrium. But if you can't move your arms in front of you, man, you have separated yourself from your senses and your ability to executive control your motor skills. You're done. Marcel Fortuna. And now that we're going backwards, you start to see what's happening. We talked about last week's show. You start to feel what's happening. You know, there's that great line about, monkeys survive in the jungle by not letting go of one branch before they have their hands on another branch. Anthony Hamilton was one of those branches. Name recognition, much higher than for Marcel Fortuna. Marcel Fortuna is the other branch. Because now we've got clips, we've got video where we could show this walkaway fade again and again, the thrill of victory, and dude is home free. Who does he fight next? Well, that remains to be seen, but you're gonna watch. The question is for me largely, if when his name comes in up again, can I remember that he's a now a care, not a don't care? I'm gonna try. Marcel Fortuna, that was mannish. And then back on my list, Jessica Andrade. At least some of you were giving me a hard time. How could you nap on Angela Hill? I picked Angela Hill before. I'm a fan. I didn't pick her this time. Didn't pick her. I alluded to the fact that I've got insider knowledge about Andrade. Yeah, Jessica. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. But I didn't see Angela Hill win this. But this fight, you want my money? I'm telling you, in my money, this was fight of the night. Because in this fight, you saw everything that you need to see in a fight. Angela Hill was like kind of like the was she a bantam with? She's like the Chris Lieben. And I mean, let me say Chris Lieben prior to sadness. Chris Lieben minus the sadness. She went at it. She went at it like those, let me tell you, those guards in prison, typically prisons, I don't know, they get busted periodically. Where they say, like the guards will say something like, all right, hey, you guys want extra commissary? Tell you what, you fight. And whoever wins, you get the extra commissary. Man, I'm in prison now. I can't get a fucking Kit Kat bar unless I fight, dude. It seems like a pussy. Okay, I gotta fight. You don't fight, we're gonna fight you. So now I'm gonna get stun gunned. And the guys have to fight. Angela Hill fought like she was one of those fighters. If you don't think it would change the tone and tenor of MMA to say every single one of these fights is a winner fight all, you'd be exactly wrong. She fought like her hair was on fire. And Jessica Andrade on fire. It was a great fight. Grit, perseverance, toughness, guts, skill, talent, athleticism. Closely matched, but not so close that you're going for the setting phasers to dullness. This was happening. I guess maybe he's hungry. Yo, bro, I'm hungry too. I haven't eaten. I used to date this woman who was super thin. She never ate. So you say make plans to go hang out with her for a week. You'd be like laying around woozy, seeing stuff, you know. It's like, hey, maybe we should go out and, you know, eat or something. She says, oh, no, we can eat here. Oh, great. Never get around to it. Go into the refrigerator. Fucking carrots. A carrot. They tell you what, you know, 28 hours without food, you'd be happy to see a carrot. But of course, you can't eat the carrot of your own because you got to share the carrot with her because maybe she wants a carrot too. And she's sitting on the couch looking at you, munching on the carrot. Like, you know what? We just had sex like 8 times. We think I can do this on a half of a carrot? Bourgeois, more. Help out, please. So then we went on to Curtis Blades versus Adam Milstead. And that was a nice knee. That was nice. Anybody going to see the drag of it is unless you're Lando, you're not. It's just not enough for me to know. Not enough for me to know. Not enough for me to know whether it's a fluke or something. Chaz Skelly. Well, I didn't see Kid Nate massacre the pronunciation of this guy's name. Grutzenmacher. Well, this is a weird name, right? Because you read it and you think, well, it's a German name, and it might be a German name, but in Schweizerdeutsch, and the listeners who speak Swiss German can help me, Grüezi is an informal greeting. It's like saying hey ya or hiya, right? Macher is maker. Hiya maker, you know, is kind of what, and then it reminds me of A Long Slow Screw, the novel I wrote, where in a coincidence, there was a heist that the book kind of hinges around called the Hiya heist. Hiya. Because the guy who stole, broke it, he was saying hiya. I'm hearing strange noises. I'm just going to get the gun right now. I'm going to be taken unawares during the show. I didn't care. Didn't care about the fight. And fundamentally, you know, even though Grutzenmacher got choked out, you keep in mind, I'm watching YouTube. I'm training. I got to see stuff that's different than the stuff I'm seeing day in, day out that I don't have to sit in front of a TV to see. Ricardo Ramos and Tanaka. Well, Kid Nate picked Tanaka. So Kid Nate picked Tanaka and Grasso, and they both lost. So Kid Nate and I, we aligned on, let's see. So he picked Tanaka, Grasso. So he got 2 wrong. I got 1 wrong. Hey, somebody, could you, who's somebody good at stats? So he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kid Nate had 5 picks. Of his 5 picks, I had 3 picks, and of my 3 picks, 1 was wrong. So let's see, I have a 30% fuck up rate, and he 2/5. So I think I fucked up more. I ventured less and gained less, which means I gained a lot of losing. So I think he actually came out on top. He's got 5 picks, of which 2 are wrong. I've got 3 picks, of which 1 is wrong. I say, I'm not so strong in the math, okay? I say that I'm the one who lost this exchange. Anyway, but Tanaka did lose, and it was a unanimous decision, so what? And I'm going to get to this point very soon because we're now at the bottom of the card where Tisha Torres and Beck Rawlings was a great fight. I picked Tisha to win. Tisha Tornado, she won. Kid Nate copied my pick, and so then he got that right. And let's see, we didn't, because one of you, I said, if you guys watch it and it's something we should watch, let us know. Said, hey, Nico Price, don't, you got to pay attention. Nico Price, Nico Price is my second don't care, my move from don't care to care. Nico Price and Tuna, yep. Oh, Kid Nate 2-1 is better than 2-1. So I won. Well, whatever. I'll take your word for it. I'm glad to be in the winning side. Yeah, if everyone here would kindly step to the rear and let a winner lead the way, I'm glad to be that winner. So, let's see, where are we now? So Nico Price and Marcel Fortuna moved from don't care to care. The question is, will I be able to remember them before? And then it's Khalil Roundtree and Daniel Jolly. I loved Roundtree's knee, but I didn't see enough. Like some of the other ones, they were great. I just didn't see enough to be able to make that claim. So now we're going to get into some of the stuff that I talked about. And this is in the title about Houston. We have a problem. Do you and I've made this claim before, and I'm laying it out again. Do you see what's happening? Do you see? If somebody is texting me and they're saying, oh, some of the WME executives didn't know who Amanda Nunes was before the fight. And what do you mean before? You mean like, no. The people with asses in the seat cage side were overheard to say, who's Ronda fighting? Or who's Ronda going to beat? It was inconceivable to them that Ronda would lose that fight because they're in Q rating land. In Q rating land, that's all that matters. M. Shamalian Knight, he's back up on top because it's split. #1 movie in America with the third week in a row. I've seen it, enjoyed it. And I knew they were going to fuck up the ring. Don't see it. Don't enjoy it. See the Japanese version. You want it to be creeped out. And yeah, there's a remake. They destroy things. That's what Americans do well. Invent it, and then other people steal it, and they do it better than we do. I don't want to get into the Beach Boys versus the Beatles. I'm not going. This is not Kid Nate's not here. We don't have to get down into it. But the reality of it is, every MMA, a fight card like UFC Houston, is fundamentally approached at a cellular level. Because every person who tunes in to one fight at a time. It's like these idiots who have 7 cars. I need a car for one of my many moods. You have 7 moods? I don't. I don't have 7 moods. I have very limited numbers of moods. I'm either hostile and amused and sleepy and hungry and horny. That's it. That's less than 7, right? You don't need 7 cars. And your entry into any MMA fight will be singular. There might be other fights on the card that you want, but wherever you are, whether it's in a bar or with people, you are watching one fight at one time. MMA, it's not sports book in Vegas. There's no picture in a picture. You got on multiple screens watching multiple fights, and you're damn sure not watching Bellator. Sorry. So if you were going to chart Bellator and the UFC, there are points at which on the low end, the UFC gets close to Bellator on the high end, but I think largely the twain don't meet. And this allows actually Bellator to be a stronger, healthier organization because they can go MMEize themselves without too much of a loss, because if people want the real deal, then they'll just go here. But they're close enough at times so you think, well, maybe there's not. But you're still discreetly only watching one fight at a time. So now if you're discreetly watching one fight at a time, each fight on a cellular level has to have enough fucking juice to drive Q ratings for somebody. Equal opportunity. That cage closes, and forget about the cage closing. They announce your name on the Jumbotron. And you have an equal chance. To make use of what you've been given. Equal. Genki Sudo, I hate to keep bringing up, comes in dressed in a silver cling spaghetti dress with a wig on, looking like Diana Ross in the Supremes. Most of his time walking into the thing, and then boom. You get somebody like one of the Diaz's, here we go, yeah. You get somebody like one of the Diaz's or Conor McGee. Before that contract is signed, they already working on their Q ratings, and we know this from experience. Been at the pre-fight and watched Nate Diaz mad dog somebody. You don't think he's working on a fight with McGee down the road? It's all about the Q rating, baby, because they know that at any given point somebody tunes in and they're either caught or they're not caught. So if you're paying cellular attention to these fights, and you go through, you say, okay, Khalil Rountree was, I think, from Houston himself, Daniel Jolly. These guys come in equal opportunities. They got equal chances to drive their Q ratings up. Khalil, it's understood why he's in the card. He's a local boy, made good, driving the card, getting asses in the seats early. His friends, his family, his high school pals, whatever. He delivers this stunning knee. Was it good enough? Was it long enough? If you had the doctorate, you probably want to have this happen second round after you've been messing with the guy. But, you know, a 52-second knockout, not bad. Not bad. Will it be noted? Don't know. Don't know, need to know. You give it an equal opportunity. You got to drive a Q rating. You got to figure, you know, he didn't know it was going to go that way. But who's paying attention to this guy in post-fight presses? Nobody. Maybe they ask a few questions about it, and he answers 1. 2. Make the most of your time. Nico Price moves from don't care to care. Did you make the most use of your time? I'm not watching all these guys to post-fight presses. It was enough. You texted me, I watched this fight. Tisha Torres, what did I say about Rory McDonald? You just got to hold on. Do not deploy that parachute. Hold on. Tisha Torres, a tiny tornado, kind of a Mary Lou Retton thing going. Don't know. Did she improve the Q rating? You know, Beck Rawlings got the haircut. That doesn't really help. You know, I remember once I was in Youngstown, Ohio, and this woman shows up at an Oxbow show. Absolutely beautiful. Really stunningly beautiful. Shows up with a boyfriend. And he's got her modeling. You got it. Car shows. And she says, we're going to L.A. L.A., yeah, we're going to go to L.A. We'll look you up, because most people in the rest of America think L.A. and San Francisco are super close. Okay, they're not. It's 7 hours apart, but whatever. Go to L.A. He's like, well, he's got some people in the film industry. I'm like, I felt like I was in that movie Chinatown. I go, you're going to come to L.A.? Are you going to do movies? In Youngstown, Ohio, was she bona fide? Was an attractive woman. In Youngstown, Ohio, I'm sure she was the shit. Way, not driving any Q ratings. Because it's not pretty that makes the paycheck in Hollywood. It's character. Danny DeVito. Can you see the first 5 years of Danny DeVito's life when he's telling people he wanted to be an actor and they laughed at him? You ain't gonna be a 4 foot that. Danny DeVito is a huge star. And his wife, he had to left his wife. He's a sex addict. Dude's 4'10", man. This only is that pop. Now Popeye. Now he's gone from farting to trying to impress us. He's got a little squeeze toy. So don't mind the noise. So I don't know what to tell you, but you can. I mean, monkey, branch, monkey. And much like the monkey with the branch, swinging from one branch, hold it before you get the other branch. There's one monkey going up, one monkey going down. All based on Q ratings. You're giving it, it's equal opportunity. Give them the same time. It's how you use that time. You could Wes Sims it. You could lose these fights and still come out smelling like a rose, but you got to do something. If these guys are sitting cage side and they don't know who Amanda Nunes is, and they just assume that Ronda's going to win, that shows you that Q rating shit is strong. Strong. So it's like the Steve Jobs in the reality distortion field. It distorts reality. Ricardo Ramos and Michio Tanaka. Anybody going to do any commercials? You're going to guest spots, guest appearances. And now they're having this. Do you see that? Do you see that they're having this retreat? You know, this guy who was, well, one of the guys who was, when I was modeling, was trying to, you know, turn me out. Stupid, thought I was born yesterday, fell off a fucking truck or something. One of the things he said is, you know, and he named a big agency who I won't repeat the name of the agency. You know, that place is a service. Don't know, but I do know it's about making people with lots of sausages on their plates happy. For good or for ill, you still have to put your lines in the sand. Not, you know, Brad Pitt sucked much dick to get where he is to become Brad Pitt. I don't know, but at some point you got to draw a line in the sand. John Travolta has talked about it, not to me specifically, but to apparently these men that he's chasing around the you know, the spa. According to a well-vetted magazine, the National Enquirer, he's like, yeah, I had to do it when I first started out. I hated it at first, but you know, it's what you got to do. Not really, my friend, but the reality of it is they're now having this event. I thought I imagined it at first, where fighters are going to mix with the celebrity clientele for a weekend retreat. And you're listening to this show, if you're a friend of fighters and they think that this is just a retreat and that maybe you might get to meet a few celebrities, you're crazy. I'm not insisting that this is some kind of escort thing. I'm insisting that this isn't, but I am insisting that this is a lot more than a cheese and wine meet and greet. You show up at this thing and you be your most fucking charming. Because you don't have to convince curators in far-flung places like Nebraska or New Orleans. You don't have to, or you know, Louisiana. You don't have to convince. You don't have to drive mass numbers at this retreat. You don't. You know how I got that Miller Genuine Draft commercial? Casting agent. I didn't have to present anybody. I laughed and impressed Gus Van Sant. One guy. Like I said, when you talk about fixing the game like the Super Bowl, you don't have to get to the multi-whole team. Get to one or two guys. So he farted, he played, and now he's snoring. That's a life cycle of a man who's living right. Popeye's got it. So if you think you're gonna go to this confab, get a tailored suit. Don't show up in fight gear. Show out. It's called show business. Make the show your business. I'm telling you, listen to me, hear me now, and believe me later. It's not what it seems. This is your shot. Why do you think you see Stanley Tucci cage side? Why do you think Kevin James? Why do you think Forrest Whitaker? These cats, you know, you ever think of what it must be like to be those guys? Who are you going to hang out with? You got the guys you grew up with, or your friends in college, or the cats that you were scuffing around with before you made it. But if they've made it, they're off doing other shit. They don't have time to hang with you. If it's guys you grew up with, they got to work. Otherwise, you got Kato Kayla at the house. They don't have time with you. Who are you going to hang with? You got to cross-collateralize. You got to hang out with, you know, Lawrence Fishburne. I think he's got to use a toilet. Lawrence Fishburne is hanging out with Joe Pantaleone. They've been in a couple movies together. They're friends. They hang out. They get the family. They smoke it. You know. You got this is your time. Much more significant than anything you'll do in the cage will be this confab coming up. Mark my freaking words. And that's the problem, because you get a guy who's got zero charisma, but who's dynamite in the cage, and that person will be overlooked. He'll be Larry Holmes. Just didn't have the charisma. Didn't have it. Larry Holmes, champion of the world. So you don't care. cheese and wine meet and greet. You didn't impress anybody, and no one was impressed by you. That's the reality, because we're talking huge amounts of money, lots of sausages. You see Samuel Jackson doing those TV commercials for credit card companies. Samuel Jackson is not a dummy. You can see how that shit drops off fast. Yeah, it's nice to do quality work, but you know, you gotta work. All these celebrities do. Usually the American celebrities will do steal their ad dollars from overseas. Or suddenly you're like, Woody Allen's doing coffee commercials in France? What? George Clooney is doing tequila commercials in Germany? What? Around, man. Keep once you massage it, you keep it going. Got nothing to do. And the sad and weird thing is that fighting professionally is enveloping. You cannot casually do it. It's not if you or me, it's not like 2 hours of jiu-jitsu and you take a shower and you feel virtuous for the rest of the day. Wrong. You take a quick shower to get the Tennessee Versacolor off your skin, and you get back in there and you go, it is all, you can't really hang. And now on top of it, you got to be charming. Well, yeah, that works for anything. They don't fire people who people are charmed by. I've worked with guys who weren't doing shit but organizing company volleyball games, but they were charming as fuck and they kept their jobs. So going back up the list, you know, Marcel Couture, Open St. Brew. I'll give you a prime example. Monkey Branch Monkey. Open St. Brew and Volkan Ozdemir, who came out of that smelling like a rose. Let me give you a hint. It was an OSP. How many, like the Whoopi Goldberg thing, how often, how many chances a nation is afraid to hurt that guy's feelings? You're going to see the fuel. You're going to see the wind out of the sails of Open St. Brew soon. Looks great, but can't convert, and there's no other reason why people should be trying to help you convert. Because you're not going to help them with the TV commercials. You're not going to help them with personal appearances. You're not going to help them with the movies or the TV shows. And you're not going to help them at the celebrity meet and greet and wine and cheese thing that they got coming up. Just there. Just there. Guy might be a little cranky. Somebody like Wes Sims, tons of personality, not a lot of fight skill, living under a bridge, don't know where he is now, but that's the kind of guy that would do well. And they're going to increasingly find people like that. James Vick versus Abe Trujillo. The gangster thing, Abe Trujillo, it's played. Maybe get a bit part in the next gangster movie, but it's played. I'm not saying James Vick is going to be, but James Vick has got a deceiving look. He's kind of long and rangy. You could see him in a commercial. Hi, my name is James Vick, and I'm a cage fighter. And then they have a short 4 seconds of him like bada bing, choking guys, and then he goes in to get a Meineke muffler. You know, I'm free forming. But that's the name of the game, and that's what's happening. Pay attention to it. And the only reason it is to be bemoaned is because you could see the ascendancy of somebody who's unworthy but has a high Q rating. You see where I'm getting at with this? Why do you think Hitler? What do you think Hitler's Q rating was like? He won a popular vote. He was voted into office. Why? Do you have any inkling of the other candidates who ran against Hitler when he ran for office? The one and only time he ran. High Q ratings. That's why it's sad. Because somewhere there'll be a guy who's got all the skill in the world that can do fantastic things. Low Q rating. In fact, Johnny Boney Joni is coming close, pretty significantly close to being one of those cats. I put him in Vogue Men. The Man. Did an article on Johnny Boney Joni. You can look it up online. Was poised, had the look, fashion spread. He's got charisma. Seen him on Kimmel and these shows. Doesn't have the discipline necessarily to maintain the focus, so you can go to the wine and cheese thing and indicate that you're going to be doing something other than hanging out with the guys at the mini part. I got more photos of him. I actually have photos of him at dinner with the cats from the mini mart. Who you going to hang out with? Who you going to hang out with? Get cleaned up, shaved, comb your hair, put on a nice suit, go to the celebrity confab. It's called synergistic marketing. Make the most of it. Anyway, this is 278, Knuckle Up 278. I'm your host, Eugene S. Robinson. This show is going to end a little bit early because I'm tired, I'm hungry, I haven't eaten anything, but you got it. And this was a short fight. I had three picks on it. Tuesday night, we'll be back with a If I Did It, Alexi Old show, Auld Lang Syne's show. And then if there's a fight next week, which I believe there is, we'll do a Care Don't Care preview. I don't think I've scored lower than 3. This was a pretty amazing weekend of not caring fights, and I got a whole hour and got the Nazis in the last 2 minutes. So thanks for listening. Once again, you're in San Francisco, Northern California, Orinda, Berkeley, Oakland. You're close, San Jose. Come to this Friday, February 10th, San Francisco open bar between 7:30 and 8. It's a sex review Eugene event. It'll feel very familiar to yous who listen. It'll seem like Knuckle Up, but I got sports agent extraordinaire Salvatore Russo as my Ed McMahon. Got Alan McDonald, executive editor at Hustler for the 20 years, and Larry Flint broke the first Bob Livingston Republican sex scandal. Got Phonique, Andre Shakti. His name's Andre, but she's still she's queer adult sex performer. Whatever. We got Jennifer Locke, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt fighter and pro dom. Got it all. And Bruce Lamont from Yakuza is our Paul Schaefer. So you got to show it. You got it. Absolutely, positively. Let's make a deal. If you are listening to this show and you're or a fighter, Jake Shields is you can see if you follow me on Instagram. Mr. Sleep 3 on Instagram is me. You can see that I ran into Jake in the streets. He's gonna come. But you're a fan of the show, we should have like a secret handshake, so like I know it's the show. Actually, forget about the secret handshake. You just say Knuckle Up, and I know it's yours. Nobody else is saying that. So anyway, we'll see you with If I Did It, then Care Don't Care, and Friday. If you have anybody that you know close, let them know. Make them come. Just make them. If they can go to Ticketfly, they can get their tickets for it now. That would be better. That helps me out. Anyway, that's the end of the show. I'll see you in a couple of days. Be careful. Don't think any wood nickels I wouldn't. Look what you made me do!